What separates human beings from the divine? It's not just the physical body. It's not even time. What truly distances us from our higher nature is something subtle, yet deeply rooted: forgetfulness. The kind of forgetting that makes us unaware of our essence, our origins, and the cosmic intelligence that lives within us. Among the many traditions that try to reawaken this memory, few are as layered and profound as Hermeticism. Named after the mythical teacher Hermes Trismegistus, this spiritual philosophy isn't a religion or a dogma. It's a framework for transformation, one that sees human beings not as broken or sinful, but as incomplete alchemists of their own soul. In our fast-paced modern lives, most people are in search of instant relief. We want comfort, distraction, and quick fixes to emotional discomfort. But the Hermeticist isn't looking for ease, he's looking for clarity. Not through others, but through deep, personal insight. The first step: silence. In Hermetic traditions, silence is more than just a peaceful moment, it's a tool. It's a technique. It's a deliberate step into stillness that allows the soul to surface. In ancient Egypt, before a student could enter into mystery schools, they would undergo a period of silence and darkness. This wasn't to punish, it was to prepare. In that silence, their connection to the unseen world began. As modern science starts to catch up, it's revealing some interesting parallels. Research from the University of Helsinki suggests that even 2 minutes of complete silence can activate regions in the brain responsible for emotional processing more than long stretches of music. That's how powerful silence is, it reorganizes the mind. But the Hermeticist doesn't stop at just removing outer noise. They seek something even more challenging: inner silence, quieting not just the world around you, but the constant voice in your own head. And even deeper, the silence of identity itself, the stillness that emerges when you stop defining yourself. Hermes Trismegistus once wrote, "Renounce the word, if you wish to hear the divine word." This isn't poetic. It's a clear instruction. The true voice, the intuitive knowing, the divine whisper, can't be heard through the clutter of mental chatter. You must become empty to be filled. So, how does a Hermeticist live in today's noisy world? By making space. Waking before the city does, not to check messages or be more productive, but to listen. Walking without earbuds. Eating without screens. Speaking only when silence has nothing more to say. Over time, silence stops being something you do. It becomes who you are. Long before the body was seen as a machine to be optimized or a canvas to be shaped, ancient traditions viewed it as something else entirely: a temple. Hermeticism teaches that the body is not to be dismissed or transcended, but understood and refined. It is a reflection of the cosmos, a micro-universe where the same forces that govern stars also flow through veins. The famous Hermetic principle, as above, so below, speaks directly to this. Your heart is your inner sun. Your breath, the movement of spirit. Your bones are earth. Your blood, flowing water. All of these elements make the body a living laboratory, one where spiritual alchemy is meant to take place. But in our current culture, the body is mostly reduced to two things: a tool for productivity or an object for appearance. The Hermeticist challenges this. They reconsecrate the body, not with rituals or rites, but with how they live. Each breath becomes intentional. Each bite of food becomes nourishment, not just consumption. The Hermetic alchemist knows. Without a clean vessel, no transmutation is possible. This vessel, your body, is the container for transformation. If it's filled with toxins, stress, or neglect, it won't be able to hold the energy of spiritual awakening. Even modern science is starting to recognize this. Epigenetics tells us that our emotions, environment, and thoughts can affect how our genes express themselves. What ancient sages called vital energy, or spirit, researchers now call bioelectric fields and cellular memory. So, the Hermeticist lives in reverence. Stretching becomes a way to open energy channels. Rest becomes a sacred pause. Even washing your hands becomes a ritual of grounding. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. Because when the energy of the soul begins to rise, it needs a body prepared to hold it, or else, it breaks. That's why many burn out or get overwhelmed on spiritual paths. The body must be ready. In Hermeticism, breath is not just a biological function. It is sacred. The ancient word, spirit, is often linked to breath in various traditions, pneuma in Greek, ruach in Hebrew, prana in Sanskrit. Before any invocation or spiritual practice, the Hermeticist breathes, deep, slow, and conscious. It clears the field, it realigns the body, and it invites spirit to enter. When practiced mindfully, breath becomes a bridge, a connection between the seen and unseen, between the body and the soul. And that bridge is the first step in transformation. If the body is the temple, then the mind is the altar. And like any altar, it can either be a space of illumination, or one of confusion. Hermeticism doesn't tell you to silence your mind entirely. It teaches you to train it, to transform it. In fact, the very first principle of Hermetic philosophy, as stated in the Kybalion, is: the all is mind, the universe is mental. This doesn't mean your thoughts create everything around you in a literal sense. Rather, it suggests that your experience of reality is shaped by the structure and clarity of your own mind. The world is a mirror, but if your mental mirror is fogged by noise, assumptions, and unexamined emotions, what you see is distortion, not truth. For the modern Hermeticist, the mind is not something to avoid. It is something to tend to, like a garden. Thoughts are like seeds, they will grow into something, whether you're aware of them or not. Living with Hermetic awareness means noticing what you're planting. Are your thoughts reactive, habitual, or borrowed from others? Or are they chosen, focused, and purposeful? The mind is both mirror and sword. As a mirror, it reflects your inner state. As a sword, it can cut through illusion. The sword-like quality of the mind becomes sharper when trained through practices such as observation without judgment, discernment between truth and appearance, mental clarity rooted in silence. Through this discipline, the Hermeticist starts to distinguish between useful thought and mental noise. This is not the same as suppressing thinking, it's refining it. As the philosopher Plotinus put it, the mind must become blind in order to see with the soul. A key part of this mental work involves shadow integration. Inspired by thinkers like Carl Jung, who was himself influenced by Hermetic and Gnostic ideas, this process means looking at the parts of ourselves we usually avoid, our fears, projections, and buried emotions. Why? Because true wisdom doesn't come from imagining the light. It comes from making the darkness conscious. Only when we bring awareness to our hidden beliefs and emotional wounds can we dissolve them and move forward. In this way, the Hermetic mind is like a laboratory, where each thought, emotion, or memory is tested. It's not about endless analysis, it's about seeing clearly what serves growth and what limits it. Once the body has been refined and the mind has been clarified, there is one more essential element in Hermetic practice: will. But not willpower in the modern, motivational sense. Hermetic will is not the same as desire or ambition. It's alignment. A kind of sacred determination that emerges when all aspects of your being, body, mind, and heart, are pointed in the same direction. This kind of will is quiet but unshakable. It doesn't scream. It doesn't rush. It simply moves, consistently, toward the work. So what is the work? In Hermetic tradition, the great work, magnum opus, is the process of transmutation. Turning the base metal of ordinary consciousness into the gold of spiritual clarity. In modern language, it's the full realization of your potential, not as a personality, but as a soul. This isn't about escaping the world. It's about redeeming it. The Hermeticist doesn't seek to transcend the body or ignore the mind. They bring all of it together in harmony, spirituality grounded in matter, action guided by insight, life infused with meaning. So how does this look in daily life? A Hermeticist may not wear robes or chant ancient names in the forest, though they can. Often, they are in cities, offices, cafes, quietly observing, quietly choosing. Their practice is inner alignment. Their power lies not in what they show, but in how they show up. Drinking water becomes a moment of presence. A difficult conversation becomes a test of will. A setback becomes raw material for transformation. This is not spiritual theater. It's a discipline of perception. An approach where every moment is a doorway, and every act is part of the ritual. And when body, mind, and will align in harmony, something begins to happen. The external world starts to shift, not through magic tricks, but because inner clarity radiates outward. The electromagnetic field of the body changes. The energy you emit begins to organize your environment. Even modern research backs this idea. Institutes like HeartMath have shown how coherence between mind, emotion, and intention affects both personal physiology and the field around us. What Hermeticism called aura, vibration, or ether, we now study as bioelectric fields. The principle is timeless. What is within you shapes what is around you. Hermeticism isn't a belief system. It's a path. And walking that path means remembering what we already know, but have forgotten. You are not just a body. You are not just a mind. You are a spark of something timeless, housed in flesh for a short while. Your job is not to escape that, but to honor it, live through it, and refine it. The modern Hermeticist may use a smartphone and live in a city, but they live by ancient principles. Silence is their foundation. The body is their vessel. The mind is their mirror. Will is their flame. They don't seek escape. They seek transfiguration, a transformation so deep that even ordinary life becomes sacred. Because in the end, the true Hermeticist isn't the one who knows all the mysteries. It's the one who lives in alignment with truth, quietly, consistently, and fully. Thank you for watching. If this reflection offered clarity, insight, or inspiration, consider sharing it with others walking a similar path. Remember, wisdom doesn't just live in words. It lives in how you breathe, how you move, how you live.